the united opposition that you say does not exist, especially with the presence of one Fred Matiang'i?
There are no differences at all. And as I've told you, we have a 2-2 movement. There are two horses. The one-term movement versus William Ruto. Kenyans have told us in uncertain terms to agree among ourselves and give them one candidate. And what we are doing right now, and people must know, I want our supporters to stop pushing their candidates to be announced president. It's not yet. See, this election is not like the other one. The 2022 election, Uhuru was exiting after 10 years. So the issue was who to replace him. This is not the issue, this election. First and foremost, we have to deal with the issue of William Ruto, because he is sitting president and he wants to come back. So the most important thing before we can decide who is to mobilize Kenyans and agree on a strategy on how to remove William Ruto from power. Then once we have the numbers, and politics is a game of numbers, then among ourselves we agree one person. And myself, I have said, I am presidential candidate. If I'm picked, I'll be very happy. I'll beat William Ruto in the morning. In case the formula does not favor me, it favors Kalonzo Musyoka, I'll support him the way I would have, campaigned for my own candidature. If it's Fred Matiang'i, the same. Mother Karua, the same. JB Muturi, the same. George Natabea, the same. But I can tell you, the little noise you are seeing is because William Ruto has planted a lot of moss in the opposition. He has infiltrated our various parties. Myself, when I was in office, he planted many people on me. And when I came out of office, I chased them away. Some have gone to Jubilee. So they are being used by William Ruto to cause problems within the opposition. And we have told leaders to be careful. If some Ruto moles have left my party and you are in the united opposition, don't allow them into yours, because he'll still use them to undermine the bigger united opposition. I am aware that William Ruto and the National Intelligence Service are trying to create a third force. This is what happened in 1992. Mwai Kibaki was doing very well and he would have removed President Daniel Arap Moi. The National Intelligence Service hyped the candidature of Kenneth Matiba, who was abroad. And he came, they mobilized people at the airport, in Nakuru, everywhere. They created a hype. And they planted people and they convinced Matiba he must run. They divided the vote and William Ruto won. The same thing is happening. Many news agents have been planted, to us. Like myself, there was one who speaks my language, and then he will pretend, oh, Rigathi, you are one of our own, we are helping you with information from inside, and then he's trying to mislead me. And I refused. In fact, I hear he has been removed and sent to be a deputy ambassador somewhere because he has failed to influence me. I hear they have promoted somebody, Akamba, to try to manage Kalonzo. Another Kisi to try to manage Matiang'i, another one to manage Natembea, so that they can try to convince us separately that you can make it on your own. So that you create a third force to divide the opposition, then we can have a runoff, and then William Ruto, using state resources, can buy the ones who have lost and win in the re-election. So the good thing, they have been trying to create confusion by creating rumors that Kalonzo is going to State House at night, so that we can be suspicious of Kalonzo. But Kalonzo has been very forthright with us, and that's why we have stuck together. Anytime Ruto sends him emissary, he calls us and tells us. So that has built confidence, And now we are convinced Kalonzo cannot be swayed by anybody. But we know they have attached an officer to try to use a lot of hard attacks to try to persuade Kalonzo to join William Ruto. But he has refused to budge. So the little teething problems you are seeing, they are Ruto characters all over the opposition. You have found most of them, instead of attacking William Ruto and challenging his programs, they are attacking Rigathi Gachagua. You are saying you are in the opposition. This united opposition wants to send William Ruto home. But you, because you work for Ruto, but you are within the opposition, you move from one TV show to another attacking Rigathi Gachagua, who is in the opposition. So once we deal with that little thing of moles, the Ruto fellows in the opposition, I think we will steady the ship, because the principles myself, Kalonzo, Matiang'i, Wamalwa, Natebea, Muturi, Mother, Linturi, we are all solid. And we have discussed, and all of us are very committed. And I'm telling you, this will be a two-horse race. What happened in 2002? Once the candidate was picked, Kibaki got 62%. Uhuru got 31%. The one who created a third force, Ibn Yachai, got 5.6%. What will happen if anybody is confused by Ruto that you are very popular, that you can go it on your own, you can make it alone, and you become a third force? The people of Kenya will abandon you the same day. The people of Kenya have decided there are two horses, Ruto and one-term movement. Whoever is a candidate for the one-term movement will beat Ruto 70+1. Any third force that Ruto will create using manipulation, bribery, national intelligence service to confuse you that you can run on your own and make it, I can tell you the people of Kenya where they are today. A decision has been made by the people of Kenya, and I listen to them. They want one candidate, they don't care who.
You seem to be speaking about the party that has said they would go alone.
No, I'm not saying.
Within the United Opposition, which is Jubilee, who
I don't know. I'm just saying, if you leave the United Opposition and go on your own, you'll be a third force. The people of Kenya will not accept the third force. The other day, they tried to form something called Sijui Kenya Moja. Something. But, you know, God is gracious to the people of Kenya. Before we could go far, one of the people who was pushing that thing was unmasked by a root of people saying this is one of our own. We are the ones who have sent her to spy for the opposition. It died. That is what will happen. And Kenyans are also very intelligent. All these moles sent by Ruto into the opposition, people know them. They see through them. They read. They know and they tell us, that is a mole. That is a mole. That is a Ruto person. That is this. Let me tell you. This thing will be a two-horse race. The rest are donkeys. Whoever is picked by the United Opposition to face William Ruto is the one who will win and will be the 6th president of the Republic of Kenya. If anybody gets lost along the way and decides to abandon the people of Kenya and think you can go it on your own, you will not go far. The people of Kenya will say no.
I want us to talk about the recent matter that has come up, and this is with regard to the whereabouts of one Raila Amolo Odinga, fellow principal in broad-based government. And his whereabouts is not known, but you have been accused. A statement from ODM says that you and your team are sending fake news to Kenyans with regard to Raila's whereabouts and his health.
I'm very saddened by ODM. ODM has sunk so low. Since they allowed William Ruto to destroy ODM, it's no longer the party that it was. That is very cheap to start with. Myself, I spent the whole of yesterday here with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is MP for Nyali and the man who has taken charge of our movement in the Coast region. Very capable young man. And things are going to happen in the Coast province because the area is one term, but they were waiting for us to identify a leader to work around the Coast province. I never had access to social media. And I slept early. This morning when I woke up, I was told there is a letter that ODM is accusing me and Kalonzo and Wamalwa of giving misinformation that Raila is unwell. I was not even aware whether he is unwell or whether there are rumors that he is unwell. To start with, I don't take much time myself thinking about Raila Odinga because the day I realized him and William Ruto are one and the same, I concentrated on William Ruto. Because there is no difference between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. So you don't have to concentrate on two personalities when they are one. So I concentrate on William Ruto and I don't bother about Raila Odinga. And I have no interest in where he goes, or whether he's out of the country, whether he has left, whether he's leaving. It is none of my business. So I was not even aware he's out of the country, or he is unwell, or he is said to be unwell. To start with, being unwell is not a crime. And I want to tell leaders and the people of Kenya, there is no crime in being unwell. When I was a senator, I was taken unwell, I went to hospital. And a leader is a human being and you can get unwell. So there is nothing so big about somebody say whether you are a leader or not. And when I looked at that letter, it's so amateurish. You know, it's so cheap. To start with, you must respect the people of Kenya. If a leader is said to be unwell, and he is well, you just ignore and go on with life. You don't have to say you are not unwell. Why should you bother? Number two, if you feel that the rumors are bothering you and you need to tell people you are well, you don't have to write a letter. All you need to do is do a few activities here and there, and then people can say you are well, and the matter just dies. President Moi, the second president of the Republic of Kenya, used to do it that way. He would disappear for 5-6 days. People would say Moi is sick. Then he would turn up at KICC and brisk walk from KCC to Harambee House. The matter just ends. These characters of Raila, what they would have done if they thought their rumors is unwell and they want to say, and they are bothered, and they shouldn't be bothered anyway, but if they are bothered, they should have just organized some activity. And even say, if they say he's out of the country, they are not even saying which country. You know, they are even the one creating more suspicion, because you are saying he's not in Europe. If you say he's not in Europe and you have nothing to hide, just say where he is. Looking at it, there are two fronts in my thinking. It's political mischief. One, if Raila Odinga will not run and he'll support William Ruto, a lot of people from Luo Nyanza are saying that if Kalonzo is on the ballot and Raila is not on the ballot, almost 40% would vote for him because he has stood with Raila for 15 years. So I think this was a scheme to try to create a wedge between the Luo nation and Kalonzo Musyoka. Myself, I've never supported Raila Odinga, and even the other day I was saying I felt bad. I asked people to support Ruto, who had said we support Raila, and I say I think I made a mistake. I have taken back that statement. I didn't make any mistake, because Raila would have just been like Ruto. The two are the same. So there is no mistake that I made. I think it's okay. Even if Raila was elected, he would still have behaved like Ruto. He would have gotten Ruto, they root the country together the way they are doing today. So for me, I don't know why they are bringing me into this matter. But I'm also aware that Ruto is so scared about my candidature that he's willing to give money to anybody who attacks me. So I think the ODM fellows were setting the stage to start attacking me, so that they said Ruto videos so that they can have some money. And I think that's what has happened the whole day. Where does Rigathi Gachagua comes in the issues of Raila? Have I posted anything? Have I said anything about Raila? I was even unaware that he's out of the country.
But you know,
and it doesn't matter anyway.
But you know, they say where there's smoke, there's fire.
Someone
can just wake up and say
but you must start somewhere and say Rigathi wrote somewhere. He spoke somewhere. I was not even aware that the old man is out of the country, or whether he has any challenge or otherwise, you know. But I know that a lot of people, I have seen many people nowadays, they attack me in all forums. That's why you see there's so much attack against me. Then they get videos, they said William Ruto, they get some money. And it's a pity that ODM is a pale shadow of his former self. William Ruto told me when we were close that he would destroy ODM, he'll use money, he'll buy Raila, he'll buy close family members. He negotiated the sale of ODM with Junet and Joe, and it's true. He has destroyed ODM. In Western Province, they could not get a candidate for Malava. They could not get a candidate for Kisa East. ODM has been destroyed by William Ruto. And just a few characters, Joho, the governor, Wanga, and Junet, they are the ones who are milking. All these other low MPs, they are just shouting. They are not getting anything out of the whole equation. So this party has sunk so low that they can sit down to accuse me and Kalonzo of wishing Raila ill. Let me tell you, my brother, we are not those kind of people. Doesn't matter who, even William Ruto, we have never wished him ill health. Even Raila, we have no reason. In fact, my prayer is that God gives Raila long life and good health, and I pray to God that he supports William Ruto so that we defeat the two of them in 2027. It will be very, very nice for me. I'll feel very good, because we would like to deal with Kenya's problem once and for all, and it's the two characters, because they are one and the same. They are looting the country together. All these things that are happening in the country, if it was not Raila support, Ruto would not be doing it. But as wishing him ill, wishing him bad, I'm not the kind of a person. Right. And I'm really not bothered to what is happening to him or where he goes. It's really none of my business.
Let's talk about formation of the next government,
Yes.
2027.
Yeah.
You say that you will run for president, that you want to form the next government. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, how do you intend to form the next government if the impeachment was successful and with that it bars you from running for office?
It doesn't bar me from running. That was, the Senate is a quasi-judicial authority. It is subordinate to the High Court. All decisions made by quasi-judicial authorities are subject to review by higher courts. Mm-hmm. So that decision, we have challenges in the High Court, okay? And the High Court will listen to the matter and rule one way or another. Depending on the outcome, there's a court of appeal. Depending on the outcome, there's a Supreme Court. The law says, Article 99, that nobody, the right to vie is absolute, and nobody can stop you because of a court matter unless you have exhausted all the remedies available by law. I have not even started dealing with those remedies. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm eligible and I'll be on the ballot unless when we sit as united opposition, the formula doesn't favor me. And as I said, if it doesn't favor me, I'm one Kenyan who has said I'm willing and ready with my supporters who are very many to support whoever we agree in case it is not me. I'm hoping it is myself. What I want to do is to ask that now that the voter registration is going on, I have seen what has happened in the last 1 week and I'm a bit disappointed. And I want to take this opportunity to talk to our young people, the Gen Zs. And I really want to congratulate them for what they did in Odaya last weekend, the TikTokers, and what they did today at a church in Roiro, raising over 16 million to support one of their own. These are magnificent young people. They have such a great resolve for their country. These Gen Zs have made us proud as parents and grandparents, and they have really gone out of their way to advocate for change and good governance. But I want to appeal to them that this change cannot be concluded on the smartphone. It cannot be concluded on TikTok. The actual transformation of this country to get good leadership and good governance will be on the ballot box. And the tool of change is a ballot. I have seen the last 1 week, it's not been very good. I want to ask our young people, the Gen Zs, to know that they have a date with the destiny on the 10th of August 2027 to help this country get good leadership. And they can only do that if they have a vote. Please, they must register. Number 2, it is my proposition and my desire, and I've told the Gen Zs in my party, and there are very many, that I also would wish them to take leadership positions and help us govern this country, to be MCs, to be MPs, to be senators. If they don't register as voters, who will vote? The Gen Zs, their peers. They need, if they want to be MCs, they want to be MPs, they want to be senators, they want to be women rep. I saw a very young girl in Kajiado, 21 or 22, she wants to be women rep. I have seen another girl here in Nairobi called Wanjiko, she wants to be women rep in Nairobi. If the Gen Zs, their peers, will not register as voters, who is going to elect them? So let them, please, Gen Zs, this is a good opportunity for you to participate in bringing the change that you desire. And you must also know that you are the greatest stakeholders in this country because you have longer to live than all of us. Number 2, I also want to take this opportunity to talk to the middle class. The middle class, for the longest, don't vote. But when things go wrong, they feel it more than anybody else. The middle class has been incapacitated by the Ruto administration. They are feeling the pinch of bad governance. Their businesses have been shut down. Nothing is going on. There is no money in circulation. And once you destroy the middle class, you destroy the country because these are the drivers of our economy. I want to appeal to the professionals, the business people, the middle class. Please, you can't stay at home and keep on complaining about bad governance. You must also take your rightful place today by going and register as voters and participate in the election and bring the change that you desire by getting the right leadership in place. You must participate in deciding how you'll be governed, because the middle class is very important for the country. Because if it is destroyed, there's no country like is happening today. But they cannot just sit back and just leave it to the rest of us, the politicians, and the people in the villages and the people in the slums to do it for them. They must lead the way. They must be active participants of the electoral process of deciding how this country will be governed. They can only do that if they have the tool of change, the tool that makes that decision, that is the ballot. So I want to appeal also to IBC. It is also slow for one reason. Also, the constituency offices are very far away. The economy is bad, there's no money anywhere. These agencies are not employed. To ask them to spend 100, 200, 300 shillings to go and take a vote, it's a little bit heavy on them. I would like to ask IBC to consider rolling out the voter registration exercise to the polling centers, where people walk in the morning, go and register and go back home. Otherwise, it's a little bit expensive, and it's part of why we are having that delay. Again, there is also some delay with the machines in terms of the machines being down. Many people are going, they wait for 2-3 hours, they go away. They need to perfect the equipment that they are having so that there is no downtime. Things are working, because people also want to register and go away so that they make it a little bit easier.
Mr. Gachagua, as we look at 2027 IEBC, let's look at the formation of IEBC. And the wrangles that existed, we know political parties played their role in the formation of the current IEBC. Do you believe that IEBC as currently constituted is able to deliver free, fair and credible elections?
Well, I think they will, because they are Kenyans and they also don't want chaos in this country. A free and fair election is a must. And the way the Kenyans are feeling today, any attempt to play around with the elections could be disastrous for the country. I know the other day I said as much, I was taken to task that I'm inciting people. I'm not inciting anybody. I'm just saying, listening to the mood of the country, showing the way people rejected the Finance Bill 2024. They would reject a flawed election 100 times more. And the consequences could be very disastrous. I am persuaded that these commissioners are part of Kenya. And this is their country, and they have no other country. And I have no reason that they will go out of their way to make sure that we have a free, verifiable, credible election. I want to tell the people of Kenya not to be worried that anybody can rig elections. It's very difficult to rig elections. The day electoral laws were amended, that the counting of votes is done at the polling station, made rigging elections very, very difficult. What we need are good agents, quality agents at the polling station, and the polling station results are final. What I recommend, and we want to ask IBC, is to do away with the bombers and the National Tallying Center. It is not necessary. The law as it is today recognizes the constituency as the electoral area for the presidential election. So the presidential elections are announced in the 290 constituencies. The matter should end there. Even you guys in the press room there, you can just add up the numbers and announce the president. This thing of bombers and tallying and transmission is where monkey business begins. The way to have a free and fair election, and we know the results by morning, same day, is to do the presidential tallying at the constituency. Once the elections are announced at the constituency 290, the press will take the results and write them somewhere down. When they come from all other, people will just add, and we know who the president is, and nobody can tamper with that. It is not possible to tamper with 290 tallying centers. But this National Tallying Center has been the source of our problems since the year 2007.
Were there monkey business in 2022 at the National Tallying Center that made you...
There were efforts, but they were thwarted by the portal. But I'm saying that is not even necessary because it takes 4 or 5 days to ease tension in the country. Let's devolve the presidential elections. The constituency is a presidential electoral area. If it's Madeira constituency where I come from, let whoever has won the presidential race be announced in Karatina. That will be added to Kamukunchi. That will be added to Ndiwa. That will be added to Nyali. And by morning, by 10 a.m. the following day, because the counting of the presidential votes is number 1 at the polling center. Even they tally the presidential results first. So it's possible that by morning, more than 240 constituencies in areas that have no challenge with networking, the results will be known. That is a way to deal with this matter in a very nice manner so that we reduce tension in the country and we lessen room for monkey business or anybody who may want to interfere with the results. So let there be 290 returning officers for the presidential election so that nobody can interfere with those 290 people instead of having one person at Bomas. And once those results are announced across the constituencies, everybody will just add up the numbers.
But even towards the voting day, there is the registration exercise that is ongoing. There is a new security feature that has been added, which includes the iris. And many are saying Kenyans were never consulted.
Yeah.
The previous registration exercise never included the same.
Yeah.
There is a new model. There is a new methodology. What is your response to that?
I think it is wrong for IBC to try to bring a new methodology, because out of the 14 million voters who are registered, are included, it's biometric. So when you introduce the iris, a new methodology, then which is which? Shall you be having two methodology of identifying the voter on the election day? That is creating confusion. And Kenyans were not consulted, and they were also not told why. Biometric has worked and worked well. Why are you introducing a new methodology? Unless you are saying we introduce it for everybody, including ourselves who are already registered, we go back for the iris. Yeah. So I think IBC is creating confusion, and these are some of the things now that are creating suspicion. You know the way this IBC was picked by Ruto and Raila, who are, buddies in the same coalition. Then when you start introducing things that are not clear and are not well reasoned and they cannot be justified, because are you telling us we are going to have two methods of identification? Why are we having iris for the new voters, yet we don't have it for the existing people in the voters register? I think that is wrong. And I think these are some of the things you may see people are moving to court.
Are you planning to challenge this in court?
Yeah, to challenge it in court. And it will be stopped because there's discrimination. Why are you having two methodologies? It should just be one. And even if it's there because it's not there in law, there need to be public participation. People of Kenya need to be persuaded as to why. Why are we introducing this new methodology of voter identification? So I think let IBC not try to introduce things that can bring confusion and things that can start bringing suspicion as to the intention of the introduction of the new methodology.
There is also the fact that President William Ruto lifted the vetting exercise in the border counties, and with that there is talk that is one way of influencing elections.
Well,
so what would be your response to the decision that was made by President William Ruto, first of all security-wise, and the fact that it is thought that will be used to interfere with the elections in terms of
President
numbers?
Ruto did for mischievous intentions. He was not trying to reduce discrimination because he's in trouble from his original stronghold, that is a mountain. He's trying to replace the mountain by northeastern Kenya, by trying to get aliens from Somalia and Ethiopia to come and register in Kenya so that they can vote for him. But he doesn't know what he's doing to the security of the country. As we speak today, people from those areas of northern Kenya are being discriminated in America in terms of visa because the Americans are not sure that they will not get bad characters. So sometime William Ruto, because of selfish desire, he exposes an entire region to discrimination because not many people will be comfortable issuing visas, to people from a region that is on the border and where people are being registered in a way that is not foolproof. I think it is wrong and it's very untidy. We need to be very, very careful about border security, about the security of the country, about international security, by making sure that we come up with a mechanism on how we vet aliens without discriminating the Kenyan people. And you know, elders have been very useful in the border counties. Elders know who is who. They know who was born where, who went to school. And I don't think elders can discriminate against their own people or harass them or take them through a very tedious exercise. I think we need to consider where we can ask the elders in border counties to carry out vetting exercise to make sure that only Kenyans and people who are born in this country and who are Kenyan citizens are registered. Yeah.
President William Ruto for a very long time has said that the opposition is rudderless, clueless, and planless, that all you have to say is one term, that in terms of forming the next government, you have no plans for Kenya. You, Rigathi Gachagua, says you are a presidential material, that you would run for office. What is your plan for the people of Kenya?
To start with, before I tell you my plan, I think William Ruto cannot accuse anybody of being clueless because he's clueless. How do you describe a president who found a working health system and destroyed it in 3 years?
But you're part of it, though.
I'm saying he's the one who's there, I'm not there. How do you call that president? That is clueless and planless. What is his plan? Killing young people and abducting them? You call that a plan? Is that what he's saying is a plan? If killing young people and abducting them is a plan, we have no plan. If turning State House into a center of bribery and money laundering is having a clue, sure, we are clueless. If destroying the university financing method is a plan, we have no plan. You know? If selling away national assets for private and commercial interests is what you call a plan, we have no plan. My brother, we have got a very big plan. But removing William Ruto is a prerequisite to us initiating the plans that we have. One of the things, if elected president, that I want to do from day one is the issue of the pending bills. Let me tell you, the issue of pending bills, Dennis, has destroyed the economy of this country, destroyed business people who did business with the government, national government and county governments. They are owed 800 billion. Their homes have been auctioned, homes are broken down. People who are doing well today are beggars in their own country. Their only crime, they did work for government, and an irresponsible president has abandoned them and started things that have no use for this country. On assuming office, the 800 billion shillings owed to the people of Kenya will be my first priority. I will not initiate any new project until these Kenyans have been paid. And once they are paid, it will have two effects. One, it will give relief to those Kenyans because they worked for it and they need to be paid. Number two, it will be an economic stimulus to the economy. If you release 800 billion into the economy, there will be money circulation in the economy. That is one thing that I want to do. Number two, I would want to dignify government documents. What is happening today? During the time of Mwai Kibaki, a government LPO or LSO or government contract was as good as money. We used to get an LPO for 10 million shillings. You walk to a microfinance banking hall and you come out with 5 million to go and work because they knew you'll be paid and you pay that money. Today, if you go to a bank with an LPO be chased away, nobody can honor, nobody can give you credit. That is based on a government document. We need to dignify government documents. How do you do that? I would order for an arrangement where once you issue an LPO or an LSO or a contract for government, before you release that LPO, you place equivalent of that money into a suspense account. in cash so that the money is there. So that once you have done your work, you are paid. What would happen after 3-6 months? The banks will hear of it, and then they'll start giving credit to business people. There will be access to credit with ease because we have dignified government documents. Again, my friend, I would like to restore the dignity of the payslip from day one, including yours. Yeah? There is too much taxation on unnecessary things like the housing levy. It is not the work of government to build houses. The work of government is to provide services. Do electricity, water, roads, sewage, drainage, and then houses will come up. Mwai Kibaki, third president of the Republic of Kenya, never did any housing program in terms of government program. But in terms of housing, Mwai Kibaki did it. How did he do it? He opened the bypasses, put good roads, electricity, water, and sewage. The houses came up on their own from the private sector. Mwai Kibaki did housing without spending a coin from government.
But did you not support affordable housing as deputy president?
Initially I supported, because I had believed William Ruto that it's a good program to create employment and to make sure that Kenyans live in dignity. Only for me to realize that it was a private thing for making money, for people to supply cement, to supply chuma, to supply babati. Again, the president had not told me that we will tax Kenyans. He had said we will look for a way of doing affordable housing. Again, when you look at this affordable housing, like today as we speak, all prison land that is very valuable has been taken and being given to private people. Here in Nairobi West Prison, more than 60 acres, worth about 1 trillion shillings, is being given to private developers. And all prison land now is being taken, given to private people to do this affordable housing. It is pure theft of public land under the guise of affordable housing. So, on day one, first executive order, I would scrap the housing levy, and all these houses that have not been completed, they have not been bought, I would hand them over to the county governments. The county governments would run them, manage them, collect rent, and pay back the people of Kenya. I want to tell all those people who are rushing to buy these houses, and I want them to listen to me today so that they don't say I did not tell them. There will be change of government, for sure. William Ruto will be one term. In 2 years' time, he'll be out of office. We shall scrap the housing levy and hand over these houses to the county governments. Please don't spend your money on these houses. And if you do, don't come crying to us. The ones who buy these houses will be the last ones to be paid after we have paid the people who have been taxed. We'll start with the people who have paid taxes because it was not voluntary. They were forced by William Ruto to pay taxes. Those ones are the ones who will be paid. The ones who have bought the houses, you'll come last year, it will take 15 years, 16 years. So I want to caution them not to run into buying these houses, because we shall terminate this program when we take office. And taking office, we are taking office.
All right. Rigathi Gachagua, DCP party leader, who says that his plan for Kenya is to ensure that he restores dignity to pay slips, that he will ensure that everything is done right, that the opposition, united opposition, is united, and that anyone who walks out of that has nowhere to go. He will not be a third force, and that there is conduit by the government to ensure that the opposition is divided. Asante sana for having us and hosting us in your home. My name is Dennis Aseto, and this has been a conversation highlighting where the country is, where the united opposition is as we approach 2027. Calling upon you to get out there, if you've not registered as a voter, to go register yourself so that you can have your voice come 2027. And you the rest of your viewing. To everybody that made this production a success, asante sana. Conversations continue. Good night.
Me a check in and me girl a check out with a man. Now she still there on the island. Me get bus but she get bus worse than me, because she done do for her thing already. She a hide, me a try fi hide too.